Music to me is essential in my life. And I can honestly say I like almost every single rhythm you can think of, because when I used to learn in school, I would actually use music or jingles to create so that I would actually stick them in my brain. So music has been also a part of my learning curve as I was growing up. And for work, music has inspired me to get more creative and come up with the strategies and dream how I want to do things, how I want to be. Even for every podcast that I record on Sundays, I actually listen to music and I vocalize it in an exaggerated way so that already my mouth is open to when I come here. But what I want to share as well is the other kind of things that we can do in the brain dumping exercise that I actually do to create content and a few more things. Hey, I'm Veronica Polo, and with more than 15 years being a marketing strategist, you're going to experience the new way to promote your business with clear and unique messaging by giving you actionable marketing and messaging strategies that get you interested leads to transform the lives of your audiences so that you build up your brand with continuous momentum. Get ready, because here's where we say no to outdated marketing strategies and society norms, and we say yes to change from the inside out. Welcome to the Branding Momentum Podcast. Well, let me quickly tell you a little bit why music is my whole life. Let's start with my family. And my dad is a musician. So he was the first violinist, meaning the concertino, of the orchestra. He was a founder of this orchestra system almost 49 years ago, or actually 49, called El Sistema in Venezuela, right? So he was one of the founders of this system of education, of learning how to play music. Now the system, El Sistema right now, it's in many different countries, right? And my dad was one of the founders, right? My grandmother from my dad's side was an opera singer. So you see, my grandmother, for her time, she was very different. Although she actually did stop to play because she was raising her kids, she had like a second bump in her career because she was doing opera. So she always said that she had a very little voice, but it was cute. It was a very cute little voice. She was an opera singer, right? And then from my mom's side, my grandfather was very operatic. Every Monday we used to listen to, opera with other friends of him. And he would make us, listen to all these different singers. And so music has been very much, as well as myself, because I started dancing since I was like 3 years old, 3 to 4. And I was Tinkerbell in a performance of Walt Disney in Venezuela. And I was Tinkerbell, so I had to, remember all the dances and everything. We were in TV. So after ballet, I did jazz and I did tap as well. And then I went into flamenco when I was 8. So I was doing like 3 different genres of music. So for me, music has been all my life, everywhere. And also music has been part of, like, if I listen to music or if I'm afraid of something, music actually calms me down. I use music as I'm traveling or as I'm getting an operation. I'll put music in my ears. I even, put music in my ears if I'm in the dentist. You don't want to listen to that noise and drill and all of that. So I have learned to use music to my advantage, because for years I could not even, like, for example, I could not work and listen to music at the same time because I would not get concentrated. I would just, I would continue to listen to the song instead of, trying to study. But a few years ago, before I got into podcasting, I learned that I could do two things at the same time. And this is when I actually took vocal lessons because I wanted to remove the fear of listening to my voice. And actually, my first podcast episode, I actually shared the entire story, how that went through. So you can go and listen to it. Now, when I stepped into the world of creating courses and content creation, that is where I really developed and took advantage of music. And I realized that music gets me inspired to be creative, and it takes me to places in my mind that I would think or do without even music, And you might think, like, why am I doing this podcast about music? Because we all love music. We all love it. Music makes us dream and makes us remember like past experiences, right? Music makes us move our body and express how we feel. Music makes us, be mellow and sad and say, oh, F you, And music empowers us because of the lyrics. I'm all about the lyrics, actually, and music and jingles and the chorus and the beats. Also, because why am I doing this? Because next week we're going to have a great podcast all about music in an interview. And music also says many things we're feeling about people that are actually with us or without us, that they're not with us anymore. So music expresses things that we feel deep inside. And music communicates. And in this world of content creation, we need to find ways how to communicate what we do in our business, what we offer. So if we take music as the source of inspiration to express, ourselves better, but also our values, our beliefs to our advantage, why not? Why not? So let me share how I use music for content creation. And when I say content creation, I'm talking about speeches, social media content, designing. When I'm designing, now that I'm into digital products, I know many designers listen here on this podcast as well. Playing music in the background lets me design with more freedom. And we know we don't have to be, too concentrated about words because it's all about the look, the colors, the style, right? So if you need to design in Canva and you feel you're not liking what you're doing, put on some music on that you may want to get you inspired. Okay. And I can't tell you which songs because we all have different tastes. And because there are too many playlists on Spotify, this will take me forever. Plus, I love to listen to music in other languages, like in Spanish and in French and Italian, because that's how I used to be when I was growing up. So my favorites for designing, there's one playlist called Pop Up. It's like all the pop songs right now, all about the 80s. Then I have one that I did myself that is called musicals, TV shows, and movies. And there's another one, obviously, that is French and Italian. And I love to listen to those as I'm designing. Now, the exercises I use to strategize and think of sales funnels and emails and plan an entire course, okay, is that I get my most pumping music that actually motivates me, like 9 to 5 Dolly Parton. I don't know what that song has, but I just go wild. Like I get excited. And the other musics are, like a rock music from the 80s or the 90s, or what's her name? Oh, Kelly Clarkson, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. I love those kind of like empowering kind of songs when I really need to strategize and motivate myself. I don't go for the soft songs. I don't go for the sappy songs or the crying songs or like F you because you left me. No, I go to the empowering kind of songs. And what I do is that I take small pieces of paper while I am listening to this music or, like little yellow Post-its. And first I start to think, what do I want to create? Let's say I want to create a course about a messaging, right? And I'll start thinking, okay, but I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm moving my body, I'm singing along, but in my mind, okay, I'm going to be creating this course and this is my subject. And I'll start thinking about the different topics that I want to include. And on each piece of paper, I will put each topic. I'm just not simply thinking too deep about it. I'm just simply coming up with ideas. I am simply, brain dumping and put it in a paper, and I'm putting every single thought that I have on a separate sheet of paper. Then I'm going to have a bunch of papers right in front of me. Okay. But then what I like to do is that when I am doing that process, at some point, I'm going to start thinking like, what's the purpose of this topic? Like what do I want to do with that? So when I start to think about things like that, I grab another color of another paper, maybe Post-it, maybe in pink, whatever, right? So I try to combine these, what's the outcome of that with the kind of topics that I'm talking about. Because if I already know what I want to get out of that topic in particular, then I'm already doing two things at the same time. So it becomes like a little puzzle of colors as you are doing your dancing and your creation. And what this actually does, it helps me actually for later to understand what's the purpose of each module or video that I have to create so that I can use it later and sit down and write, right? Obviously, I'm not going to write with music, but maybe at first, all my papers are very scattered, like I said, which is fine. My entire purpose of this process is to bring out as many ideas as I want to do. And once I think I'm done, that is enough. I'll start organizing and move around in order how I see my ideas come out, right? So you see, the important thing about doing this exercise is that all these thoughts don't have judgment. Let me repeat that. As you are doing this brain dumping exercise, all these thoughts that you are doing do not have judgment. You are simply using your brain to come up with as many thoughts as you feel them and see them in your brain. And at this point, you are really, really not thinking really. You're not going deeper. You are feeling the answers because the music is helping you dig those thoughts. Just to tell you, I've done this exercise with almost all my clients in every single business that I've had, in organizing events and coming with strategies and thinking about styling and organizing people and actually doing the marketing, the sales funnel, everything. But the most fun that I've had when I've done it is when I've done it during the evening. So I've done it during the evening, and I think it's also great if you want to maybe have a favorite beverage that you would like to be drinking while you are dancing and you are thinking about this brain dumping exercise. So choose the best time in the day when you know you are at your best. If it's 6 o'clock and you fancy a drink, then go ahead and do that, okay? Music and a little bit of wine, well, that's actually my preferred choice to drink. And you just use whatever way, and if it's, tea or coffee that gets you pumping, then gets you pumping. And what you have to know is the time of the day, the music that you want to play, and get your thoughts out. Now, this same exercise can very well work when you are creating social media content, or creating sales funnels, like I said before. So for social media creation, I suggest that if you haven't heard my last podcast episode, how to speak to your potential clients, you go ahead and listen to it and get the questions you should be asking yourself. And what you'll be doing while you are listening to the music is come up with the answers for these questions. Okay? So listen to that episode, come up with the questions, and then you're going to be answering the questions, right? Maybe the music you are listening to is not so upbeat, and this is a trick right now. You gotta change the music. We're not talking about, being creative now. Now we're trying to use music as a tool, right? And this can be actually mellow music. It could be classical music. It could be F you that you left me kind of music. And why do I say that music needs to change? Because the answer to these questions need to come from within you and what you know. And I believe that Highway to Hell, that kind of music won't bring those feelings out, right? So if you like AC/DC, yeah, rock on, yeah, put it on. If it's gonna bring out those feelings and that pain and that struggle and those objections, then go ahead, listen to it, right? So when you have the songs that will bring out those feelings out, do the same. Ask yourself the questions and put them on a piece of paper. And then when you have all those answers, you're gonna sit down with a clear head and organize all those little answers and all those questions that you had and how you are going to put them on your content calendar. You have the answers within you. The music can bring out those answers within you. And as if you're doing this exercise, if you want to use a different color post-it, then use it, but use it, this is a trick, okay? Use it to identify what are the kinds of call to actions that I can put on this question, on this answer. And think of what are the hooks that I can, grab someone's attention that are, short and snappy and controversial. You're in the moment. You are doing your brain dumping. This is the perfect moment to also think about these little things, but you cannot confuse them, right? So you got to change the colors of the little post-its. Now let's talk about reels, right? Music for reels and all of that. Now let me go back a little bit and say, okay, we just discussed how to brain dump on a motivational kind of project that you have if you want to be creating courses, funnels, strategies, things like that things that are really motivate you. So you're using music that is motivating you to get that information out, right? Now, if you want to create content for your social media, meaning how to speak to your potential clients, your music needs to change a little bit. Your music needs to change, and you gotta go a little bit deeper, a little bit mellow, a little bit more strategic with that music. Maybe sad, maybe sappy, but the answers need to come from within, right? So now for reels, I know this is something that everybody does, great? We're all trying to find trending music. But what I want to tell you that as you are searching for these trending songs, as you are listening and saving them, if you're going to be on camera, do the same exercise. Get yourself pumping with the music that you're going to get. Try to watch as many versions of the trending sound and simply, do you. Take inspiration, but I would like you to actually internalize the song. I want you to live the song, live the lyrics, if the song obviously has lyrics. I think when they have lyric, you connect more with any song, right? I like to personally make fun of the lyrics or make fun of life if I can. And I've realized that making fun of me and being more sarcastic has actually helped me do what not maybe other people are doing. And I don't do fancy reels and I don't do fancy cutting and all these things. I like to sing along. That is my thing. I love to sing along. But as I am singing along, I want to make fun of the lyrics or do, the opposite of what the song is actually saying. So it took me a long time, a while to come up with that formula where I actually did feel comfortable in my skin doing this because I felt so stupid. Doing the same as everybody else was saying, like everybody else was doing. And that is not the purpose, because the purpose is to stand out, to be unique, right? So on social media, because everybody obviously is doing the same thing. I think I've shared most of the things that I honestly did want to share with you. I think I'm not leaving anything out in terms of music, in terms of this brain dumping exercises, and how actually you can take advantage of music for your promotion, for your content creation. Okay, guys, if you want to check my reels, of course, for inspiration, then please go ahead. Anyways, take care, and I hope to see you same time, same place next week. Bye.